This is my brand new micro camper, and it looks insanely small, at least until you slide out the extension that doubles its size. And that's just the first of many tricks I used while building this to cram all the perks of a camper into a package small enough to take on adventures with my high-power e-bike. So I got this cargo trailer on Facebook for about 20 bucks, and once I remove all these boards, this is gonna be the base of our camper. For this project, I have a 3-step plan. First, I'll build the outer shell, then I'll connect it to this trailer frame, and last, I'll furnish the interior before testing it overnight to answer one question. Is a camper this tiny really still more comfortable, durable, and convenient than a tent? So this is the trailer completely gutted, and even though I'm limited on width, I wanna keep this thing comfortable, so that means I can make it as long or as tall as I really want. And since the #1 thing I want from a camper is good sleep, I decided to maximize my length. So let's go ahead and say that where my hand is right now, that puts us at just about 87 inches to that piece of debris. 87 inches versus 62 is gonna look pretty goofy. My goal is to contract the length. But a telescoping design means that everything, including the mattress, stove, food, and water supply, needs to fit in just half the camper's total space when packed. Plus, I'll still need a window for ventilation, a door for access, and interior lighting to make it feel really cozy. So it'll end up being actually a little bit less long than this bike, but then I'll be able to pull out an extension to give it that full 87-inch length for comfort. So yeah, that's the game plan. And with that in place, plus a pretty good trailer to start on, it's time to start building, baby. I started by cutting the floor out of a large piece of plywood and cut my bundle of 1x2s into shorter beams that would frame each wall just like a house. This should make the camper super durable without adding too much weight. This is the right side of the frame. Now the left side is gonna be basically identical. Let's first do insulation. This stuff was super cheap and it's exactly 3/4 of an inch thick. Beautiful. You're telling me all I have to do is measure to 20 inches and then cut? Hype. That's right, I'm using the same material you use for most takeout boxes to keep myself from freezing overnight. First panel down. That's really exciting. I'm gonna finish constructing the rest of the frames for the main part of this build, and then we'll go from there. Now that I have all my pieces for the first part of the camper, I wanna do a quick test fit to make sure that everything squares up the way that I expect. You know, it's not perfect. There's some things that could be adjusted, but it's overall pretty good. Also, it's a little ridiculous, but I think I should climb inside and see how it feels in there. I assume I can at least crawl inside, right? Oh yeah, yes I can. There's like just enough space. Assume the sleeping position. Oh dude. Honestly, this is super comfy, and having the window right here is pretty sweet. I think this is gonna be a great build. I'm getting excited. This super thin wood is what's gonna sandwich each panel for the camper. Look how thin that is. Well guys, welcome to lunch on my back porch. The walls could warp and bend, so I need to waterproof these so that that doesn't happen with our final camper. I got this wood sealer. The cool thing about this stuff is it's actually supposed to penetrate into the wood itself, so it's keeping it waterproof from the inside out. Anyway, I'm gonna waterproof these panels, and while I do it, I'm gonna slam some Huel. By the way, discount code for that down in the description. All right, so it's been about 2 hours. I've done 2 coats of waterproofing. I think these are in good shape, so now I just need to let them dry. And in the meantime, I've got to design a hitch. People usually don't tow with electric dirt bikes, which means I'll still need a hitch receiver to connect the camper to my bike. Since nobody makes one, I just designed my own in CAD, and now I'm printing out a test piece. Okay, this looks like it'll be a perfect fit, but I need it to be metal, so I'm gonna upload the design to SendCutSend and let them handle fabricating that bent steel monstrosity so I can spend time making the camper look sexy. Even though I'm gonna try to seal around this gap, I wanna try to help rain wick off the back of this by giving it a slanted roof. So I'm gonna try to cut these miters, and then hopefully the structure will start to work itself out. Nice. All right, so I've got the sides of the pullout constructed. Imagine that this part has just slid out of the camper, and now you want to get inside. It needs a door. So I'm gonna put a door right in here. Yeah, that'll be enough. Gonna be a little tight. It's a micro camper. It's gotta be a little bit micro. Okay, that fits awesome. All right, now I need to cut these panels to size so they fit perfectly around the perimeter of the walls. And even though they're thin, these panels will add a ton of durability to my camper. Okay, I just cut up the second panel. Here's the inside, and then here is the rest. So together, that's gonna be the whole sandwich. Now for side 2. Panel 1 down, dude. Wow, and pretty dang lightweight. All right, I'm happy with this. I'm gonna keep going and make the next panel. So I've got the door side of the camper finished and I have the wall side finished. I need to join them together to make the front of the camper. Check that out. I'm pretty pleased with that. Wow, and it's rock solid left to right, super solid in this direction. All right, the back half of this camper is looking pretty good. So I'm gonna put the floor on it and then we can start working on installing the drawer slides. All right, this part of the camper is looking like it's in good shape, and now that that construction adhesive is dry, I wanna start getting the other half ready so we can merge the two. All right, it's time to get this window installed. Does it fit? Not quite. Nice, it's a fit. Okay, time to start assembling the wall. Okay, come on. W, 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 nice. All right, the panel's the right size. Now I'm gonna glue it onto the outside of the camper. All right, and the window fits. I need to get some seal for this, but once I do, we can install it. Now to move on to the other panel. All right, this panel is now done, which means I have everything I need to start assembling the front half of the camper. Okay, and now with any luck, when I tip this upright, hey, there we go, we got a window. Is it functional? Oh yeah. Next wall, the floor. All right, drawer slide time, finally.
These drawer slides are rated to support 250 pounds, which is more than our entire trailer should weigh, and they lock in place so they only slide when you want them to.
Look at that. So this is how long the entire inside is going to be. That's a solid amount of space. All right, good news. At least on a basic level, it fits. So what's it take to build one of these?
Just need a couple of long slidey boys and a few hours of time.
And that's all the screws. Dude, I think I laced it. All right, so you got the window, you got the door, right? This is more or less what it's gonna look like from the side. And then, oh, surprise, it's actually enormous.
Hey, yo!
Let's start figuring out this door. We should be in business. All right, big next step is the roof. I've got it in place, now I need to glue it down.
I made sure to lay down a really fat bead of waterproof construction adhesive when I connected the roof, because if there are any gaps at all, water could get in the camper and I could drown.
The roof is on.
And from there, the only thing to do was seal up the ends before I start connecting the box to the trailer.
Okay, lucky for me, this isn't the end my head goes on.
Okay, I think we finally hit the point where I can start mounting this on the actual trailer. I'm gonna get in, make sure that the door and all the entryway works. Can I get inside? The answer is yes. And it's honestly not horrible. Hello. This is pretty fun, you guys. Now, the tricky part is I think I also have to leave by feet. Oh boy. It is for sure is going to be very interesting. That is so satisfying. Look how compact this gets. All right, let's start with the trailer. Wow. All right, well that was a good way to start for sure. The trailer fits, frankly, quite comfortably. And do we have a camper? We have a camper. Holy scheisse. It's alive! I mean, look at that. Camper City. Population us. There's still a few things to finish first, but just seeing how this thing looks right now, I can't wait to take it out with the Mini-Moto. Very excitingly, this box from Sen Cut Sen just got here, and this should have the parts for the hitch in it. They're a channel sponsor these days, which is very exciting. I've been using them forever, and I just love what they do, and it makes it really convenient for stuff like this when there just isn't a part. Yo, dude, that's sick. I think I might have cooked on that. Yeah, wow. That is 1-to-1 with the version that I made. That is very exciting. So basically, in short, I can't blame them for any of my problems. Nice! Score! Candy! Dude, that's a frickin' tow hitch. All right, now what happens if I sit on it? It stays more or less like level with the ground, to be honest. That's sweet. Okay, I'm feeling so much better than I was about 12 seconds ago. All right, let me take this guy for a quick test lap, and I'll let you know how it goes. You know, so plenty of clearance. Kickstand still works. The bike overall rides pretty normal. I'm gonna take this in. All right, that was a big success. All right, obviously I haven't tested it as a tow hitch yet, but to do that, I have this hitch receiver.
Now that I knew my custom parts wouldn't get in the way, I could connect this hitch ball to the bike. On the camper, I bolted a rigid steel tongue to the bottom and mounted a trailer coupler. And now, the hitch ball and the trailer coupler can smush.
And there you go. Let's take this thing for a spin. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, so far so good. This is going much better than I thought it would. All right, I think it's working. All right. Good news, it works. In the meantime though, I wanna do the interior. The real comfort thing I need to do inside is there is an inch between the bottom of this piece and the bottom of this piece. So I need something to build up that material that I can also still sneak away in this half when I pack the whole thing up for the night. My thinking is I'm gonna cut a piece of this that'll fit in the floor over here because this is about 1 inch thick. So that should take up a little bit of gap, and then I can put the mattress topper on top of everything for comfort. Give it a little slant. It'll look better. Don't worry, it's only gonna reduce the height of the door by a little bit. Come on, get over there. There we go. All right, now that's in pretty good shape. Yeah, it's pretty nice in there. Wow, they really vacuum packed this sucker. The hope is that I can kind of just fold this up and into the front when it's all the way in there, because I don't want to have to take it out every time. Yo, peep that.
It's feeling pretty good in here. I'm happy.
It's definitely super comfortable. Like, being on the mat is awesome.
You also might have noticed this enormous gap around the pullout. To keep water and wind out, I covered it with rubber seal tape.
Look at that, that looks like, that's pretty premium looking. And I also figured it'd be pretty premium to use the large roof as my kitchen while transporting all my cooking gear inside. It really looks like an RV pullout. Yeah, and then you go to close the door and you do that. This is actually kind of the nicest handle I think we could have put on it.
I swapped out the trailer tires for a fresh off-road set and started packing up the camper so I could test it in the field. In addition to over 10 miles of riding, I'd be spending an entire night on a mountaintop in below freezing conditions, and I need to bring enough supplies to not just survive, but really enjoy the trip.
Kitchen knife, cutting board, stove, food for tonight and tomorrow morning.
I packed all of my gear into the camper itself, except for my riding clothes and water supply, which I put in a backpack.
Remember how I told you I had a plan for water storage? That's this. This is a gravity water system. This lets me make more drinkable water. So any water source, I can just go up, fill this bag, and then drain it straight out into another water bladder to drink from, or into a pot for cooking, or whatever I need to do with it. It's a lot to load in there, but it's definitely enough for the night. Probably it's even overkill, so I hope I am toasty and comfortable.
So I collapsed my camper and hit the road.
So the plan for today is I'm gonna ride from here all the way down through town to a bike path, and then all the way to the top up a dirt road to P-Wink Mountain, where we're gonna spend the night. Oh shoot, is that a curb?
Can we make it? Can we make it?
Oh, money. Sweet.
By crossing that first hurdle, the camper is already proving itself durable and convenient, which is good because along with comfort, I'll be using these categories to rate the camper's performance over the course of my adventure.
Let's get a tunnel counter on screen. Through the tunnel and over the bridge. That is sweet. I know it's gonna be super cold tonight, but I mean, it is really a beautiful day to be out here, so it's hard to complain. The sun is shining, the leaves are turning. Wow, all right, now it really feels like we're going up a mountain. It just dropped probably a full 20 degrees as soon as we got out of the sun. I am not excited about how cold it's gonna be up there tonight, so I really hope the insulation in this thing is worth it. That's one of the big differences versus a tent. This camper has an inch of insulation on every side, and a tent has effectively none. This is a completely new experience for me. Oh man, and this is, I guess, where it becomes gravel. Oh yeah. Hey, a little creek action.
3 miles into the journey, the camper was still holding up really well.
Camper handling the wood slats with ease. I feel like the thing people don't understand about Colorado is that it'll swing 15 degrees or more between just the sun and the shade on the exact same day, 5 feet from each other. I am so glad I put new tires on that camper. I feel like this would have been hell without them. New tunnel time. It's awesome how well this trailer hitch is going. Really shout out to Sen for fabricating the thing. I never could have built this at home. Tunnel counter, another tunnel counter. Ooh, bridge counter.
And after that, before getting to the dirt, I rode a few miles of paved road.
All right, there are a couple big hills on the way, but the whole distance from here to P-Wink is paved until we get to that dirt road for the fast few miles. So I'm gonna jump ahead just so you guys don't have to sit through all of this. We should be getting to where we're gonna see Hunter here soon. I told him to meet me at the intersection where the pavement turns back into dirt, because that's where this is gonna get interesting again. What's good, dude? So the thing is, from here to the top, it's pretty much dirt the whole way. There's about 4 more miles of road to the top of P-Wink, but this is the last chance I have to fill up on water.
And if I don't, I can't make dinner or do any of the other activities I planned at camp.
Now I'll be honest, it's kind of slim pickings because it's basically winter already, but I did manage to find a little bit of flowing-ish water coming out of this drain pipe here. I'm pretty confident it's ice melt because it's so cold outside already. By the time we've filtered and boiled this water, we're gonna be fine. See this? Unlimited water. At the very least, that's the theory. Okay, and that's pretty much it. I trust this water. It looks tasty. There you go. Sack full of water. Up and out. I got the water in the bag, strapped in. Now we're gonna head up the mountain. Not a bad start. How's the transition? Okay, so far so good. Definitely getting a little squirrely, but I think we're gonna be all right. So believe it or not, this is actually the first time I've done any substantial distance on dirt on a moto at all, let alone with the trailer. So this is gonna be pretty interesting. So far, so good. You, the road, 2 wheels, in my case, a little camper. Big hill action. But from here, the road gets really rough. So if we need to, we can camp closer to the entrance, but I'm hoping to get a little further in. So far, so good. All right, holding it together, keeping it together. All right, it's legit pretty dang bumpy through here, but it's working pretty well. RTR's got some serious chops. Let's go. All right.
I had no idea, but my camper was whipping around like an inflatable tube man and somehow still holding strong.
Hey, good news. We found our first possible campsite. So I guess if we need to, we can post up right here, but there's some cooler spots up ahead and I'd rather go further. Yeah, tell me you wanna do this road on your cargo bike, bro. You do not. You wanna be on something serious, something built for dirt. That's what this is, dog. Secretly, this is kind of one of my favorite campsites out of the whole place. But I think we should probably keep going and see closer to the peak of the mountain. Come on, baby. Oh yeah. Dude, this is really fun, man. I'm having an awesome time. It's literally everything I was hoping it would be. Oh. Oh no! All right, well, it may be turn around to go back to the last campsite time. All right, the thing is, this is fixable. I just can't fix it right now, right here. Yep, that's what I figured happened.
The wheels on this trailer are just held in a slot like a normal bike, so it's kind of impressive it took so long for one to fall off.
I have good news. The wheel's not fucked up. This is fucked up. Hopefully though, this is at least enough to get us back to the campsite. I want to show you guys that vista, but we shouldn't do it with the camper. We'll drop the camper back at the site and then we'll come up here. After all, that's the whole point, isn't it? Have an adventure on a bike that you can't have on any other bike. Moment of truth, people. All right, let's go. I would definitely change the way that I put my wheels on a moto trailer. Everything else about it, so far, so good. So far, the score is everything that Lewis did on the camper is awesome, and everything that was on the camper to begin with sucks. And I'm good with that. And man, look at this view. That's why I wanted to camp here, man. Oh, that is gorgeous.
I took a minute to soak in this incredible campsite before it was time to test how comfortable and convenient this camper really is.
Sweet. Let's try to actually get this thing set up. Yeah, now we are in business. Step one, step stool. This is easy and works. Really gotta take this camping mat and shove it down in that half.
I think that window is going to be more important than I think. At least right now, it's getting very toasty in here.
Sorry, do the lights still work?
Oh.
I should basically be able to just unfurl. All right, there we go. Sleeping bag. I'll tell you what, so far this is a lot faster than setting up a tent. All right, now I really want to take this bike on an adventure, but first I want to set up that water bag from earlier.
And I'll be honest, in this moment, all I want to do is take my bike for a serious rip before sunset. But unfortunately, water is #1 priority, and that means work before play.
There was just a small puddle in the bottom of my backpack. From Membrane Solutions, gravity water system is quick, easy, and convenient. Bold claim. So I think, yeah, that's good hydration right there. And now I should be able to just, nice. Yes, sir, let's go. And now, we're all the way up here with the moto and all my stuff. This is the real dream, because this is trail riding somewhere that I get to camp. Oh, dude, this is sick. Are you kidding me? Yo, this is so rad.
And the best part is, the tow hitch doesn't even get in the way.
Now this is properly good fun. Isn't this sick? I feel like this is what the bike camper guys are missing out on. This ain't no bike camper, this is a moto camper. That is like 3 times as fast as I've ever ridden dirt, and I am having the time of my life. All right, I gotta get a quick flick of the bike up here. Okay, now we'll go.
There's something so much better about riding forest roads on a mountaintop than riding asphalt in the concrete jungle.
Oh my gosh, a moose!
So as long as I'm up here, I want to have some fun. And if you want one of these bikes for yourself, my discount code is in the description.
All right, this has been a lot of fun, and it is gonna be a beautiful ride back, but before we lose the light, it is time to cook some dinner. It has been hungry work getting up here, and I'm excited to show you guys what life at the camper is like. All right, and we are back at camp. That honestly didn't even take that long. So the great thing about this camper is the whole thing is a cook surface now. Up here you got room for a stove, a cutting board. The idea is that it's all of the convenience of a camper in a much smaller size.
Making dinner wasn't a Michelin star experience, but having a huge prep surface in the middle of nowhere made me feel like Gordon Ramsay, because it was a huge upgrade from tent camping.
So next, I really gotta start boiling that water. So let's come over to the bag here. All right. The thing is, it's like with a car, you can just car camp. But with a motorcycle, you can't. Can't just like fold down the back seats. There's no back seats. Did you need to check? Did you need to make sure? I mean, look at this. I would have none of this if I was camping with a tent. This would be a pain in the butt to cook on the ground too. All right, let me do the Parmesan while it's still hot. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, perfect form. It's smelling really good. And then a little bit of black pepper. All right, let's see how we did. That's pretty good. That's pretty damn good. Check this out. A little meal with a view action.
Watching the sun set behind the mountains with my ramen feels like the perfect end to a day before settling in for the night.
It is time for bed. I'm excited to try this thing out, finally. Every possible kind of lighting that I could have had for this is toasted. So the idea is you sort of get yourself partway in, kick off your shoes, tuck your shoes in, grab a bag. Do they make ultra durable string lights? Oh, that's way better. Sit on the windowsill, yes! There we go. All right, now we're cooking with gas. The thing that's actually driving me more crazy than the fact that the lights aren't working is that I can't find out why right now because I don't have a multimeter. Just gotta grab the outside. We're sealed in for the night. Wow, it's already fogging up. Maybe I should crack the window a little bit. Got my water, my light. I've got my fan / power supply. Yeah, we're in business. Here, you can see the other end, way down there. I was worried a little bit about the gaps in here, but the rubber seems to have sealed it up really well. I'm super happy. All right, guys, at this point, I think I'm gonna turn in, watch a show, and get some Z's, because it's only getting colder from here. See you in the morning.
With all that insulation, despite below freezing temperatures, the camper kept me warm and I slept soundly through the night.
Last night was interesting. I would say overall, inside the camper, it went pretty dang well. I was not planning for the entire thing to get covered in frost. I mean, in fact, it's so cold this morning that this is actually like frozen. Like the whole tube froze. I had to break the bag to get it to go, and it's still not like, yeah, this is still definitely frozen solid.
That's so much ice.
But outside of that stuff, the camper itself, wow. I feel like overall the camper has accomplished the goals I had for it. The hitch works and I can tow the camper. It was warm enough to keep me good overnight. Resounding success.
Thanks so much for watching. Boatmobile merch is now live on my website for a limited time with a new video coming soon, and it's a great way to support the channel. If you're new here, get subscribed and I'll see you next time.